Hey guys, it's Kevin and this is going to be another classic movie review for you guys. Now, this movie I'm going to be reviewing, I was kind of skeptical about if I actually wanted to watch this movie, but I did end up watching it, and that is the 1994 crime metagenre. Honestly, I'm going to call this a metagenre film, Natural Born Killers. Now, Natural Born Killers is a movie that I have always been interested in. I've always heard so many things about this movie. I heard it's one of the most controversial movies of all time. I heard that a lot of people are very mixed with how they feel about it, and I myself was kind of worried about how I was going to feel about it. I go on Rotten Tomatoes, I see it had like a 44%, I'm like, oh shit, that's never good. However, I watched the movie, and I have to say that I loved Natural Born Killers. I think it's a great movie, and yeah, it's really different, and yes, I can totally see why people hate this movie. There are tons of people that hate this movie. If you hate this movie, I can totally understand why. I'm on the side, though, that loves this movie. I think it's a fantastic movie. I think it has a lot to say about a lot of things, and I'm definitely going to talk about it. So let's talk about the plot of Natural Born Killers, which I honestly find to be very interesting. Basically, we focus on this couple, Mickey and Mallory. Basically, Mallory came from this family that was very, abusive. Her father was really abusive, and, basically she meets Mickey, who basically ends up getting her away from that family, kills both of her parents, and basically they set on this journey together. They get married, and then just start killing people one by one. However, things take a turnaround when not only are they killing tons of people for no reason at all, but for whatever reason, the media starts to love them and starts to even think of them as heroes, and people start to want to see them on TV, and that's basically a plot of Natural Born Killers, and I think that's very interesting, honestly, what the movie wants to show here. There's a lot of things that I definitely want to talk about with Natural Born Killers I definitely really enjoyed. But let's get into what I loved about Natural Born Killers, starting off with the acting in this movie. Now, the acting in this movie, I think, overall is great. I think Woody Harrelson in this movie this is the best performance I've ever seen Woody Harrelson give. His character, I absolutely love, because Mickey and Mallory, they're not good characters. They're not good people, but you somehow do care for them. I mean, we keep seeing these flashbacks of Mickey's childhood. He had a really rough childhood. He had really abusive parents. They weren't nice to him. He didn't have good parents. He didn't have, like, a good life or anything, so you can see why he turned to crime, and you definitely really enjoy his character. But he honestly is definitely a psychopath. He's a crazy character. He just kills people for no reason. And he's doing all these crazy things, but yet somehow you love his character. And I think it's just the way that Woody Harrelson portrayed this character. He's such a good character. And he's honestly just a really interesting character. And I really liked following his character over the years. However, Juliette Lewis as Mallory, I think, stole the show here. While Woody Harrelson was awesome in this movie, Juliette Lewis really is the big highlight of this movie. Juliette Lewis is absolutely fantastic in this movie because you actually do sympathize with her character. I mean, she comes from this really abusive, family. Her father, wants to, is sexually abusive towards her. Her mother is, completely neglectful of what she did, and Mickey kind of saves her from that. However, Mallory starts to become just as fucked up as Mickey. It kind of reminded me of a modern-day Bonnie and Clyde, which I thought was really interesting. And one of the things I do like about Mickey and Mallory, though, is that Mallory actually is kind of level-headed. Because there's a scene where Mickey does kill someone, and Mallory's like, why did you do that? And I really like that they did that, because the thing that I thought was a great thing about that is that it showed that they're not, monsters here. They're not good people, and they're not doing good things, but yet they're not monsters. And I like seeing that. I thought that was really well done. And the chemistry between these two is fantastic. To say that they have amazing chemistry is an understatement. These two feel like an actual natural born serial killers. They feel like real serial killers, and I love that they did that because that's what the movie is supposed to show. You're supposed to feel like the real serial killers, and they portrayed that perfectly. Robert Downey Jr. in this movie is Wayne. This is what I call dedication here, because Robert Downey Jr., when he does a role, he really gets into it, and you can tell he was having so much fun with this movie. He's playing Wayne, who basically, he wants to get Mickey and Mallory to just be on this show. He wants to interview them somehow, he wants to meet up with them, because he finds them very fascinating, and you see throughout the years him trying to meet up with them, and I thought that was really interesting that we saw. I mean, this movie takes place actually just in 2 years, but I thought that was his character was really interesting. He was really funny at points as well. He had some really funny lines. He has a British accent in this movie, and, I thought that was really interesting the way Robert Downey Jr. did that. The way he carried himself in this movie was great, and he honestly was fantastic. Tom Sizemore, I really liked his character as well. He is also very interested in finding Mickey and Mallory, and I think that he was really interesting. And Tommy Lee Jones in this movie is fucking crazy. I mean, he is great in this movie, and I thought he did a great job as well. Everyone else in the movie was great. I thought Rodney Dangerfield did a great job as Mallory's father. He's crazy. and I thought overall everyone else was really, really good. But that's not the reason I love the movie as much as I do. The acting is great, but the thing that makes this movie so good is Oliver Stone's directing. That's what makes this movie so good. Because what Oliver Stone is trying to show is the way that the media portrays celebrities. The way the media portrays serial killers. They see serial killers as celebrities. You'll see serial killers out there and they'll think of them as heroes. And he's really trying to show how the media does that and how much it can ruin things for people. And how, it can make people, this is supposed to show why they're not good people. And I enjoyed that Oliver Stone showed that story. And some of the things that I also really like is that this movie is extremely, extremely stylized. And that is because of the amazing cinematography in this movie. Definitely the cinematography is great in this movie. This movie will go from color to black and white like that, and then it'll go to like animation style. And I think the reason they did that was, I don't really know why they were trying to do that. I think it was just trying to be as stylized as possible, which I really enjoyed. For example, there's a scene where we see Mallory's rough childhood, and it's like a sitcom, and I kind of feel like what that was trying to show is how the media portrays, how sitcoms kind of show very dark themes, and they show like how dark things can be and things like that, and they have very dark themes, and basically that was supposed to show how the media kind of doesn't really sympathize with sitcoms, things like that. I thought that was really interesting the way they did that. I definitely really thought that was really well done as well. The editing of this movie is really good. I love it. It's divided into 3 separate halves. And the other thing I think is interesting about this movie is that Quentin Tarantino actually wrote the screenplay of this movie, but it was completely revised by Oliver Stone, which is understandable because at times this feels like a Quentin Tarantino movie. You're watching and you're like, I feel like I'm watching a Quentin Tarantino movie. It's not a Quentin Tarantino movie, though, which I thought was a little bit surprising that it wasn't a Quentin Tarantino movie, because it felt like a Quentin Tarantino movie. It wasn't a Quentin Tarantino movie, and I find that kind of interesting that it wasn't, but I thought it was, and that's really good because that's basically how you're supposed to feel about it, which I definitely really enjoyed about the movie. I thought that was really good. That felt like a Quentin Tarantino movie, and I was very impressed by that, because you guys know how much I love Quentin Tarantino. I love his style. I think his style is really interesting. I think the style of this movie, as I said, is really interesting. Definitely, I really love seeing that, and they really portrayed the idea of how mean-spirited the media can be perfectly, and how the media sympathize with them. I definitely really enjoyed that. And again, they're not doing good things. They're doing some very rough things. I mean, there's some pretty crazy shit they do in this movie. They rape people. They kill people for no reason. Mallory is constantly seducing men and then killing them for no reason whatsoever. For whatever reason, though, you sympathize with them, and you understand why they're doing these things, and you feel bad for them, and yet you care about them. Why you care about them, I don't know, but I do care about them, and I thought that was really interesting. I definitely enjoyed that. The action scenes in this movie are breathtaking. The kills in this movie are so graphic, and I love that they went as far as they did, because they wanted to make this look as realistic as possible. The third half of this movie is basically a reality TV show. They go all out when I say they try to make like a reality TV show. They start bleeping out swear words. They start showing very violent things. They do whatever they can to make this as realistic, and I love that they did that. It was very well done. And I know some people hate the movie because they did that, but I really enjoyed it because the whole point of the movie is just to show how the media portrays these certain things. And it's true, the media does portray violence as an epic thing, and they do portray it as a crazy thing, when really it is very dark, and it can end terribly, and that's something I definitely love that this movie showed. And this movie is quite dark. While there is like fun music behind it, it's not a fun movie in any way, shape, or form. This movie is not fun whatsoever, and that's something I enjoy, is that they're playing like this fun music throughout it. And it's supposed to show, again, just how people think this is like an awesome thing. They don't think of it as bad as it is. They don't think of it as what it is, and that's fucking crazy. They don't think of serial killers as these crazy people. They think of them as these fun heroes that are doing great things for our society, and they're really not doing anything good for our society. If anything, they're killing our society. They're giving us a bad rep. That's what they're doing. They're not doing anything good, and I love that the movie showed that, because they're not doing anything good. They're killing our society, and I definitely enjoy that the movie showed that, and it definitely is going to make me rethink twice when I hear about a serial killer couple on TV. I'm interested in seeing how they portray it here, and I thought that was really cool the way the movie showed that. The movie also shows as like TV commercials and things like that. A lot of people complain the movie just randomly cuts to things, but I think the reason they do that is because they're trying to show something similar to that, and gets to like, relate to it somehow, and the movie is definitely very relatable. I mean, you all know people who are like this. You've all seen, they show, I believe, it felt like it was real people's reaction. I don't think it was real people's reactions, but they show how people would react if they really cared about this couple. Because if there was a couple that was killing people and things like that, for example, I kind of sympathize with Bonnie and Clyde. I'm going to be honest, I do. Their characters, I understand why they did what they did. These people, I don't give a, we don't know why they're doing what they're doing. They don't give a shit what they're doing, though. They're just doing this because they want to kill people. That's why they're killing people. And do I have a problem with that? No, because it's cool to see, and it's executed very well, and it gets the point across, and that is that they're, you can sympathize with, like Bonnie and Clyde, but you can't sympathize with these characters. You can sympathize with them with the child that they went through, but why they're killing people, there's no reason why they're killing people. And I like that the movie showed that. There really wasn't a reason they were killing people, and I thought that was really well done as well, especially in the third half of this movie. The third half of this movie is when things get insane. Part 3, I should say. I mean, yeah, the part 3 is when things get crazy, and I love that part 3 got as crazy as it was. I didn't think the movie would get as dark as it was, and the movie was so, going so fast. The movie goes so fast, and I can see this one as a problem with the fast-pacedness of it, but the thing is, if the movie was a slow-paced movie, it wouldn't be as good as it was, and it wouldn't get the message across that it wants to get across, and by making it as, slow-paced as it was, it got the message across much better than it would have if it was, a lot more fast-paced, and I think the editing was really good because of that, and that's something I definitely really enjoyed. So yeah, I thought that was really good as well. And also, this movie was extremely controversial when it first came out. Originally, this movie was going to be an NC-17, which I could totally see because there are scenes in here that, or if they were, if they showed things, it would be NC-17 and things like that. But basically, Oliver Stone basically said, and a lot of people were against the movie, saying, why is it, making us like serial killers and everything, but I like what Oliver Stone said, because basically he said that he's continually maintained, if anyone asks him about this movie, why'd you make this movie, he says that the satire on how serial killers are adored by the media for their horrific actions, that those who claim that the violence in the film itself is a cause of societal violence miss the point of the film. It's supposed to show the society violence. I agree with what he's saying. It's supposed to show that. If you have a problem with the violence in this movie, you're missing the point of this film. Yeah, the violence can be brutal. Yeah, it's not going to be good stuff to see. But it's supposed to show that why does the media like people like this? Why do they adore them? Why do they see them as heroes? And that's something I love what the movie did. By not giving us a reason, by not showing why they're doing what they're doing, it makes us just question the media. The whole point of this movie is not to sympathize with the serial killers. Which you do. You care about their past and things like that. But you don't care about them as characters. What you care about is the media and how the media is portraying them and why the media is portraying them this way. And that's something how the movie did really well, and they really got that point across perfectly, and I love that about Natural Born Killers. But overall, guys, I love Natural Born Killers. I thought it was a great movie. I think you guys should definitely check it out. It is not for everybody. I'm telling you that, is that right now it's not for everybody. There are going to be people that absolutely hate this film. There are going to be people that think this is just a pretentious film and that it's completely all over the place, that it has no story to it whatsoever. I can totally understand if you guys think that, but I personally love Natural Born Killers. I think it's a great movie. I think it really gets the point across very well and has some great messages in there. And if you guys can overlook all the violence and crazy shit that happens in the movie, I think you can really enjoy it, definitely. I think this movie is actually really enjoyable if you look past the violence and the terrible things that, Mallory and Mickey are doing. Also, one of the other things I love is their love for each other. I thought their love was great as well. You really saw that they loved each other, and that's something that I definitely enjoyed as well. But that's basically my review of Natural Born Killers. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for tonight's episode of Outlander, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.